Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Army Public School PMA Kakul Resource Network. Before we start our today's subject science, don't forget subscribe this page and click on bell icon. In our today's subject, we are going to discuss plants and their system. Dear students, plants and their systems is the second chapter of the book, in which we will discuss about the different process and phenomena related to plants like transpiration, stomata opening and closing, and photosynthesis. This is the combination of week 5th and 6th. So the topics related to week 5 are transporting food, osmosis, and transpiration. Learning objectives. To define and explain the process of transporting food in plants. To describe how sugar made in leaves to transport it in flowing to the other parts of plants. To explain the phenomena of osmosis. To understand the types of membrane. State the process of transpiration and transpiration stream. To describe the factors that affect the speed of transpiration. First of all, we will discuss transporting food. Students, plants always require certain materials for their living activities. The system through which materials move from one part to another part in a plant called transport system. Plant organs, root, stem, and shoots are involved in this system. There are two types of tubes which conduct the material in plant body. These are xylem tube and phloem tube. Xylem tube which carry water and minerals in solution from soil to the leaves. Phloem tube which carry sugar solution from the leaves to all parts of the plant. Now we will discuss how sugar flows through a plant. As you know, leaves prepare their food in the form of sugar, that's glucose, through the process of photosynthesis. It is mixed with water and form strong sugar solution, high concentration, which is transported in the phloem tubes out of the leaves and into the stem. Then it may go up to growing shoots and down to the roots. This movement is bidirectional, means upward movement and downward movement. Look at the diagram. In this diagram, leaves make sugar by photosynthesis. The sugar mixes with water to make a strong sugar solution. This strong sugar solution moves from cell to cell along the phloem tubes. Then this sugar goes into the roots and shoots and is used in respiration, and sometimes it is stored as starch. Diffusion. In the leaves, strong sugar solution move from chloroplast cells to the leaf vein through shoot and stem by the process of diffusion. So, what is diffusion? Diffusion is a process through which all types of particles move from one part to another part. In the growing shoot cells and root cells, Sugar used for respiration. In some root cells, it also stored as starch. After discussion of diffusion process, now let's see what is the process of osmosis. The movement of water molecules from a region of high water concentration to region of low water concentration through partially permeable membrane is called osmosis. Now, what is partially permeable membrane? A membrane that allows only some molecules to pass through is known as partially permeable membrane. For example, the cell membranes of plant and animal cell is partially permeable membrane. Look at the diagram of a cell. Here, cell membrane is a partially permeable membrane which allow only water molecules to enter inside the cell. In this diagram, you have clearly seen the movement of water molecules from outside where high water concentration is to inside where low water concentration through the process of osmosis. Transpiration. Transpiration is the process of water movement through a plant and its evaporation from aerial parts, especially from leaves. Look at the diagram. Here water moves from soil into the roots and this water moves towards the stem and leaves through the xylem tubes, and finally the water reaches inside the leaf cell and evaporate in the atmosphere through stomata. Now stomata and guard cells. Here stomata are plural and stoma is singular. There are tiny pores in a plant skin, that's epidermis, through which water and gases are exchanged in the plant and the atmosphere. These pores are called stomata. They are mainly found on the lower surface of leaf. In some plants, they are also found in the stem. Each stoma is surrounded by two bean-shaped cells called guard cells. These guard cells control the opening and closing of stoma. Stomata remain open during the day and closed at night. Function of stomata. The function of stomata is to control in gaseous exchange and help prevent water lost from the plant. And the main function of guard cell is to control the opening and closing of stomata. Now look at the diagram of open and closed stomata. When a plant has plenty of water, the pressure inside the guard cells rises and the stoma will open. In the second diagram, when guard cells lose water, the pressure inside falls and the stoma will close. What affects the speed of transpiration? There are some environmental factors that affect the speed of transpiration. First factor is temperature. Transpiration is faster in higher temperature. During day, it will speed up and nighttime it is slower. Second factor, wind. Transpiration is faster in windy condition. Third factor is humidity. It is slower in humid. On dry days, the air can hold more water vapor, so speed of transpiration is decreased. And the last factor is time of day. It will be increased during bright light. Now we will discuss the transpiration stream. The upward movement of water through xylem tubes is called transpiration stream. Now let's see route of transpiration stream in a plant. First of all, water enters root hairs from the surface of soil particles. Second, water moves from cell to cell by osmosis. And then water is pushed into up and the xylem tubes by pressure. Due to this pressure, water is pulled up the xylem tubes. And this water evaporates from leaf cells into air spaces. Finally, water vapors out of the leaf through open stomata and transpiration take place. This is the combination of week 5th and week 6th. So the topics related to week 6 are photosynthesis, the process of photosynthesis, limiting factors, what happens to glucose. Learning objectives. To understand the process of photosynthesis, to identify the limiting factors for photosynthesis, to describe the jobs of a leaf in a plant, to explain the internal structure of a leaf, to identify the factors that are necessary for photosynthesis, to describe the uses of glucose in plants. Now we will discuss photosynthesis. The word photosynthesis is the combination of two Greek words. Photo means light and synthesis means to manufacture. The process in which green plants prepare food from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. All leaves contain green pigment, chlorophyll. That's a chemical which absorbs energy from sunlight. That's why photosynthesis takes place in the leaf cells. Now let's see equation for photosynthesis. In this equation, there are two reactants are required. Reactants are those substances which are used in a reaction. So carbon dioxide and water are the main reactant for this reaction. Photosynthesis takes place in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and it produces glucose and oxygen. Okay, let's see functions of a leaf. Leaves are well suited for their jobs. They are broad and flat to absorb lots of light and exchange gases with the surrounding air. They are thin so gases can get to all the cells easily. They have holes called stomata to let gases get in and out from the surrounding air. They have lots of veins made from vascular bundle to carry water to photosynthesizing cells. Limiting factors for photosynthesis: the environmental factor whose absence or deficiency can decrease the rate of reaction is called limiting factor. There are three major limiting factors for photosynthesis. First factor is light. More light energy fosters the rate of photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plant cells absorb only red and blue light. Green light is not used, it is reflected, that's why leaves are green. Second factor is carbon dioxide. If more carbon dioxide and water is available, the rate of photosynthesis will be increased. There is usually enough water in the soil for a plant, but the air contains 0.03% carbon dioxide. And the last third factor is temperature. The rate of photosynthesis is always faster on warm days than on cold ones. Suitable temperature is important for photosynthesis, that is mostly 15 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. If temperature rises above 40 degrees Celsius, photosynthesis will become slow and finally stop. Now let's see what is an ideal condition for a plant. A plant will photosynthesize best if it has enough light, enough carbon dioxide, and a suitable temperature. Right? Okay, now what happened to the glucose? Through the process of photosynthesis, plants make their food, which is glucose. It is a type of sugar. It is transported through phloem tubes to all parts of a plant. Uses of glucose. Plants can use this glucose for different functions which are given below. Number 1. Some of glucose will be used urgent energy. Respiration takes place inside every living plant cells all the time. Number 2. Some glucose will be changed into starch or oil and stored in stems, roots, seeds and fruits. When it is needed, it is changed back into sugar. Number 3. Some glucose is changed into cellulose to make new cell wall. It gives a strong outer coat to plant cells. It helps the plant support itself. Number 4. Some is joined up with minerals from the soil. Nitrogen, for example, joins up with glucose to make protein, which is used for growth. There are few points I would like you to keep in your mind before starting your written work. Draw and label the diagram neatly to show the flow of sugar in a plant. Plants transport their material inside the plant body through the process of osmosis. The movement of food material in upward and downward direction in the phloem tubes. Partially permeable membrane allows some molecules to pass through it. Write down the word equation for photosynthesis carefully. Identify three major limiting factors for photosynthesis. Explain the main root path for the transpiration stream in a plant body. Glucose used in plants for different purposes, and list these uses. Now it's time to see the written assignment given by VI. You have to attempt question number 1, 2, 3 from textbook page 18 related to transporting food. Question number 1, 2, 3 and 4 from textbook page 19 related to osmosis. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 from textbook page 21 about transpiration. Question number 1, 2, 4, 6 and 7 from page 22 about photosynthesis. Question number 2 and 3 from page 23 related to process of photosynthesis. Question number 1, 2, 5 and 6 from page 25 about limiting factors. And in the last, question number 1 and 2 from page 26 related to uses of glucose in plants. Send your assignments on students.apms.pk. This was all about my today's lecture. Now I want to say goodbye by everyone. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.